Hey guys, and welcome back. So where I left off in my last video is I just left Kalbarri. I'd had quite a few inconveniences happen on the way throughout my trip so far, and I was finally making it further than Kalbarri, so heading more north. And yeah, it's been a ride. I'm really excited to share the next couple of chapters with you because things have definitely taken a change. There's still been some struggles and some difficulties along the way, but yeah, I think I've been really finding myself and figuring out how life on the road looks for me. So I hope you enjoy. So one for all the spiritual people out there, my first stop leaving Hamelin Pool was Shell Beach on the way into Shark Bay. I reached out to my auntie and my nan, who are no longer with us anymore, and I asked them to lend me their adventurous spirit and their strength. They were both such driven and adventurous people in their lives. And I didn't feel my nan, but I felt my auntie walking beside me. I felt the words, "You're a brave girl." And being the skeptical that I am of even my own beliefs, I just said, I don't know if I can trust what I'm sensing. I guess that's why people ask you to send them a sign, I don't know, send me a bird or something. And then I also thought to myself, but birds are everywhere, it's not a great sign, is it? The next thing that happens is two swallows fly out over the water, and one circles behind me, and as I'm following it and turn my eyes back to the beach, I see a snake swimming along the water's edge. And in the direction I was walking, this snake is on the left side of me, where I felt my auntie. So I got the birds, and I also got something else, and that was something I'd never seen before, a snake in the water. Continuing into Shark Bay, I stopped at the Whalebone campsite and drove my car up a bit of a rocky climb to take some photos. I also checked out the Eagle Bluff lookout and unfortunately didn't see any sharks, turtles or rays, which are commonly spotted there. And then after that headed on into the caravan park in Shark Bay to camp up. The bathrooms here are probably the fanciest I've ever seen in a caravan park. There was a storm scheduled to come through, so I thought it would be a good time to put up on some local Facebook groups that I do mobile massage to see if I could get some money and make the best of the bad weather. I also set up at the caravan park, as you can see here, with my massage table. It was a very windy and rainy couple of days. I did have one client book in for a mobile massage, and I also had 4 people book in for massage at the caravan park. It was really good to have some good fortune come my way and to start doing some massages on the road, as well as have something to do while I waited out the bad weather. As you can see with my setup, it was definitely handy having a barbecue to cook on out of the weather. I do find that sometimes the best way of dealing with rain is to just embrace it. So I did decide to do some exercises in the rain as well before it started pouring down quite hard. After 2 nights at the caravan park, I went into Monkey Mia for a bit of a walk around and to see the area, and then followed that up by checking out Francois Perrin National Park, which had been closed because of the bad weather, but it ended up being open for the homestead up to Big Lagoon. You can have a walk around the old sheep station there, and I was lucky enough to have the artesian hot tub all to myself for a short amount of time before a bunch of people ended up rocking up. So that was really cool, and I also cooked myself some lunch there before heading further into the national park towards Big Lagoon. At this point I was running a bit low on fuel, as I hadn't actually planned to go into the national park thinking it was closed, but I just figured, you know what, she'll be right, and I did make it to Big Lagoon, went for a bit of a walk along the beach, and then made my way back out of the national park. Before leaving Shark Bay, I watched the sunset at Little Lagoon on the top of Dumbo. It was so beautiful seeing the sunset over the water and then turning around and seeing the moon rising over the land. And I'm really proud of this shot that I took of the sunset in my rearview mirror and the moon on the horizon. I camped up at Whalebone for the night and unfortunately got myself bogged again looking for my campsite, but it was well worth it. It was such a nice little spot to wake up in the morning and start my day. After posting on the local Shark Bay Facebook groups, I heard back from Shari from our place at Nanga wanting me to come and do some massages for herself and a friend and some people that were staying in the area. Jason and Shari are the ones that own the property and they're both just such lovely people. I felt so at home and welcome there. So on my second day at Nanga, I noticed that my battery wasn't charging from my solar panel. So it turned out that the solar charger controller had a wire that had burnt through its connection port. So being in Nanga, they're pretty remote. I didn't pay attention which ones came out of where. We'll figure it out. So I asked Jason where he thought I could pick up a new solar charger controller, and it turned out that he had bought one off a friend literally the day before, so you can see me here installing the new one, and yeah, got it working again, and I'm definitely going to pick up a spare one when I'm at a King's next. I think they're like $30 from King's, so yeah, pretty easy to swap out to. At Nanga, there's no shortage of amazing animals on their property, all with very unique personalities. I loved being surrounded by their well-tempered pets and then also getting to see all the birds that have just flocked to their property as well. Besides massaging, I also enjoyed just relaxing while I was there. I spent some time by the pond watching the animals run amok. We took the dogs down to the beach one afternoon and that was just so fun having them in the Segway with us. As you can see, they were having a blast in the wind. For one of the days there, I decided to have a bit of a beach day for myself. So yeah, come join me as I wander down to the beach and bask in the sun.
Your coffee cup's still warm from yesterday's chore. We talk about the stars while the world goes by, and I can see it all in your eyes. No need to rush, we got time to stay. The simple life is where a story's made, and I don't want to trade this for anything else today. I feel loud till the lights are bound. Nothing fancy, just this town, but it feels like something bigger now.
I've really been enjoying finding different ways to keep my body moving depending on where I'm staying and what's around me to use at the time. And yeah, I had a lot of fun in this area with the wall and the bench to just play around with, and obviously listening to good tunes. Gotta get in a bit of a boogie every now and then. There was no better way to end the day other than to have a bit of a soak in their artesian hot tub that they have there. And this was actually the room that I was doing massage out of as well. And then after that, going up for some dinner and watching the sunset surrounded by beautiful people and beautiful animals.
We're building castles out of every thread. The future's hazy, but it's ours to shed, and I know we'll find our way there. Laughing loud till the night turns bright.